Tonight, you came home and your dog ran to the door. It wagged its tail. It looked at you like you were the most important thing in the world. And somewhere on the other side of the planet, someone just sat down to a meal that included dog meat. That fact probably disturbs you. But the real answer to why is far stranger than you think. The question is not whether eating dogs is right or wrong. The question is why your brain reacts so violently to the idea, and why millions of other human brains do not react that way at all. The answer reaches back further than civilization, further than agriculture, further than the first village or the first fire pit. It reaches back to the moment humans and dogs first looked at each other and made a decision that would change both species forever. You have to understand something first. Every food culture on Earth is arbitrary. Not partially arbitrary, completely arbitrary. The things you find delicious, the things you find disgusting, the things you would never put in your mouth. None of that is biology. All of it is history. All of it is geography. All of it is accident. Anthropologist Marvin Harris spent decades studying why different cultures eat what they eat. His conclusion was blunt. Food taboos are never random. They always have a logical origin rooted in the practical conditions of a specific place and time. The Jewish prohibition on pork, the Hindu reverence for cattle, the Western horror at eating insects. Every single one of these has an explanation that has nothing to do with morality and everything to do with economics, ecology, and survival. So where does the dog fit in? Humans and dogs share a relationship that is unlike any other interspecies bond on Earth. It is at least 15,000 years old. Some researchers now believe it may be closer to 40,000 years old. A 2021 study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences traced the genetic divergence of domestic dogs from wolves to somewhere between 27,000 and 40,000 years ago, making the dog the oldest domesticated animal in human history. Older than sheep, older than cattle, older than the horse, older than the concept of farming itself. That changes everything about this conversation. In most of the world, particularly in Europe and North America, dogs arrived in the role of working partners and companions. They herded sheep, they guarded homes, they hunted alongside humans, they slept at the foot of the bed. Over thousands of years, a cultural logic developed quietly and without anyone deciding it. This animal works for us. This animal lives with us. Therefore, this animal is not food. The rule was never written down. It did not need to be. It embedded itself into the emotional architecture of entire civilizations. Paul Rozin, a psychologist at the University of Pennsylvania, who has spent his career studying disgust, found that the most powerful triggers of human disgust are violations of what he calls the human-animal boundary. When an animal crosses from the category of companion into the category of food, the brain does not process it as a dietary choice. It processes it as a moral violation. The disgust is real. The nausea is real. But the category itself, being the line between pet and prey, is entirely constructed by culture. Here is the counterintuitive part. In the regions of the world where dog meat is consumed, the dogs in question are almost never pets. They are raised specifically as livestock, in the same way a pig or a chicken is raised in the West. The cultural architecture never assigned these animals to the companion category in the first place. There is no emotional history being violated. From inside that cultural framework, eating dog is no more strange than eating pork. The brain that grew up within that framework does not fire the same disgust response. It cannot, because the category was never built. Dog meat has been consumed in parts of China, South Korea, Vietnam, the Philippines, Nigeria, Ghana, Switzerland, and among certain indigenous communities in North America and the Pacific. A survey published by the Humane Society International estimated that approximately 30 million dogs are consumed annually worldwide, the majority in East and Southeast Asia. In South Korea, a dish called boshintang, a dog meat soup, has been consumed for centuries, historically associated with stamina and heat resilience during summer months. In parts of West Africa, dog meat is considered a delicacy reserved for special occasions. The history of dog eating in China stretches back over 7,000 years. Archaeological evidence from Neolithic sites shows dog bones bearing cut marks consistent with butchering for consumption. This is not a fringe practice that crept in at the margins of history. It was mainstream. It was documented. It was unremarkable. And yet, this is where it gets complicated. Even within these cultures, attitudes are shifting rapidly. As urbanization spreads and pet ownership rises in countries like China and South Korea, a new generation is growing up with dogs in the companion role for the first time. The emotional architecture is being built in real time. And once that architecture exists, the disgust response follows automatically. China passed sweeping new regulations in 2020 reclassifying dogs as companion animals rather than livestock, effectively beginning the legal process of removing them from the food supply. South Korea has been debating a formal ban for years, driven largely by younger urban citizens who grew up with dogs as pets. The category is being rebuilt, And as the category changes, the feeling changes with it. This is what makes the dog food question one of the most revealing windows into how human culture actually works. It shows you that your deepest moral instincts, the ones that feel biological, the ones that feel ancient and unshakable, are in many cases recent inventions layered over practical decisions made by people in specific places with specific problems to solve. Consider this. In medieval Europe, horses were widely eaten. It was normal. It was practical. A horse that was too old to work became food. Then the Catholic Church, for reasons historians still debate, banned the consumption of horse meat in 742 CE. Over centuries, the prohibition became invisible. It stopped being a rule and became a feeling. Today, the idea of eating a horse triggers the same disgust in most Western Europeans and Americans that the idea of eating a dog does. The feeling is identical. The origin is a bureaucratic decree from the 8th century. Richard Wrangham, a biological anthropologist at Harvard University, argues that cooking itself, the act of applying heat to food, is what made humans human. The caloric efficiency of cooked food allowed the human brain to grow larger over hundreds of thousands of years. But Wrangham also notes that cooking is deeply social. What you cook, who you cook it for, and what you refuse to cook are all signals of group membership. Food is identity. Food is loyalty. Food is the boundary between us and them. When you feel disgust at the idea of eating a dog, you are not accessing some universal biological truth. You are accessing your civilization's specific history. You are feeling the accumulated weight of thousands of years of cultural decisions made by people who needed dogs for things other than food. That does not make the feeling wrong. The feeling is real. Your attachment to dogs is real. The bond between humans and dogs is one of the most extraordinary things evolution has ever produced. A cross-species relationship built on genuine mutual recognition, on something that in every meaningful way resembles love. But it does mean the feeling is not universal, and understanding that is not a threat to your values. It is the beginning of actually understanding them. Because here's what the science of disgust tells you. The things you are most certain are morally obvious are almost always the things most worth examining. Not to abandon them, but to understand what they are actually made of. To see the history inside the instinct. Tonight, when your dog runs to the door and looks at you like you are the most important thing in the world, that feeling is real. That bond is 40,000 years old. But somewhere on the other side of the planet, someone is sitting down to a meal, and their brain is not firing the same signal yours just did. And now you know exactly why.